Hey there, ACH 100. We are back to do our energy heal truss model. Let me move some controls out of the way here. I wanted to clarify something I misspoke about in the last video. I called this an LVL, and we both know that's not true. So we looked at in class LVLs, and that LVL means laminated veneer lumber, and this is what that looks like. That's what laminated veneer lumber is. And what I was pointing to was a wood eye joist. Wood eye joist. So we have the lumber flanges on the top and bottom with an OSB web. So let's go back to our model. Oops, that's not the right model. There we go. All right. So this is wood eye joist. This would actually be of a laminated veneer lumber material, our rim board. I just wanted to clarify that before we went on. Okay, now we're going to talk about our energy heal truss. So we'll go over here to this second copy of our window model. And as Steve Basic spoke about in the video that you were supposed to watch, the most important thing to get correct about a truss is its profile, the outline of the truss, because everything else will be determined by the truss manufacturer's engineer. So the few things that we want to talk about on the truss are, one, the energy heel, and he had 1.5 foot or 18-inch energy heel on his. And so we'll go out here to this corner and go 1'6", and that'll give us a guide right there. And the reason that we don't set our trusses right down on the wall and have an energy heel is so that we can get more insulation in there. So his version had the bottom chord of the truss was at 1.5 and 12, and the top chord was at 3 and 12. So we will head in this direction and type 12, and then grab that end and go up 1.5. It's very touchy when there's something else to zoom to. Okay, and then we will go there. So that is our 1.5 and 12 slope for the bottom chord. And then we'll go up here and head in this direction again. Type 12. And vertically we'll go 3. And then we'll connect the dots. And then we have our top chord. Now in the video, if you noticed, his heel was actually made out of 2x6s. So we'll put that in there. And the top and the bottom chords were made out of 2x4. So you want to make sure you're on, there we go, so that it's grayed out and not in the green, so that we want to be in the same plane. So we're going to head in this direction, and then we're going to type in 3.5, so it's a 2x4. We'll come down here and grab this one. Oh, make sure we're grayed out there so that we're in the same plane, and then type 3.5. And that is our bottom chord. Now from the edge of our wall here, we're going to grab the tape measure tool and come out this way 2 feet at a 2-foot overhang. And now we have the important components to trace for our energy heel. I'm going to grab this vertical wall and come out here, stay on the red axis, and lock it in there with the shift, and come down here and pick the bottom so we know where to stop this section cut. Now I'm going to come to my line tool, and we will draw the outline of our truss, just like this. It's not wanting to pick that. Come on, why are you not picking that? It's picking that one, but it's not picking that one. So let's see what we can do about that. You don't want to just guess at this. So let's delete this. And we'll grab our tape measure tool. We want to make sure we're in the same plane. So we'll go over there and reinsert that guide. Now let's try our draw tool again and see if it clicks. Here we go. Okay, so now we come down to here, go over to here so we have full bearing on top of the wall. And then we're going to zoom out to here. Ta-da! Now that we have the profile, we could push-pull, but let's not do that quite yet. We're going to add the zigzags in there to make it look somewhat correct. But remember, when we send this off to the truss manufacturer, these are the critical dimensions. We want to know what it looks like on the bottom, what the overhang looks like, and what the slope is on the top. Engineers will determine all of the interior parts of the truss. But what we're looking for is something that looks like this. And we will go back to here. And so the zigzags can be configured in many different ways depending on the loading and the span. See, this one only has 2. This one comes out as step fashion. But we will go in the zigzag manner for our assembly. So we'll come in here and let's use our measuring tape tool. Come on, there we go. Grab our vertical and let's come over here 3 feet. And then we will click here and snap to there. And we'll offset, make sure it's grayed out so that we're in the same plane, and type 3.5. And then we'll grab this again. Oh no, come on. There we go. Head in this direction and take 3 feet again. And we'll snap here, snap here. And we'll come down here 3.5. Wrong direction. Here we go. 3.5. And then we'll grab this one. We'll come over here because we want that to be started there, but it's going off the model, so we don't have much of it there. 3.5. And then we can come in here with our draw tool. Don't worry about that. Just keep going. It's going to happen. We can clean it out in just a second. Make sure we get them all in there. Now come in here with your select tool and pick that triangle and delete it out. And delete it out. Delete out all these little cross members. All right. And now this is all going to be like one big chunk. So we should be able to pick our push-pull tool and head in that direction, 1.5, because they're all made out of 2x4s or 2x6s. And everything moved. Look at all those guides. Oh my goodness. Okay, triple click, right click, and make it a group. And now before our eyes cross, let's go over here and delete all the guides. Ah, what a beautiful truss. All right, so let's paint this. Our 2x material color. I'm going to move this over for a second. We will move it over so that it aligns with this. And I'm going to come over here and grab one of our hurricane ties. And pick it right there. Head in the direction that I want to go. Hit Control, so I've got my copy. And come all the way over here. I'm still in the green axis. still in the green axis. Hit shift to stay in the green axis, and then pop it to the face. And now you have the strap between your roof truss and your wall. So when the wind tries to pick this up, the hurricane tie will hold it to your wall. Now let's pick our truss and our hurricane tie and right click and make them a group. And now we will put these at 24 inches on center, as is typical for most roof framing. So we'll come out here to the middle of this, start heading in the direction we want to go, and hit Control to get our copy. Type 24, enter, and then let's make 5 copies. Now we have all of our roof trusses. Ah, yes, lovely. Okay. Now we'll come out here to the end, and we'll put our subfascia on. This is a 2x, so let's make a rectangle from here to here, and then we will stretch it out 1.5, triple click, right click, make it a group, and paint it. Now we can't leave it like that because our sheathing will come down and bump into that, so we need to put a guide on here so that we know how far down to move this. We have this picked. We're going to use our move tool, and we're going to move this down so that it snaps to that line. This is what happens in real life. Very rarely does this happen, but of course architects want to draw it this way, so I'll show you what the way it usually ends up being drawn is you triple click into that and you pick this back line and you're going to move it up. And you're going to push this up. Isn't that much more satisfying? Yes, okay. Usually won't happen that way in the field, but we'll show it that way. And then after that, we need our blocking for our soffit. So we will come here, 2x blocking for the soffit. We'll grab our tape measure tool. Let's grab a horizontal reference, and we'll come across here and snap to the edge. And this is where it's going to hit our roof truss back here, and then we'll come up 3.5 because it's a 2x4. And we'll go ahead and use our, actually we need to do our first 2x4 that goes all the way across first. So we'll grab our rectangle tool, and we'll click here on the edge and on this one, and then we'll type in 1.5, 3.5, and then we will push that blocking piece all the way down and pull it all the way out to here. Triple click, right click, and make it a group, and then paint that. And then we can use our draw tool and trace this. They won't build it that way. It's always drawn that way, but let's not build it that way. The reality is that there will be a rectangle that looks like this. And let's push it 1.5. Triple click, right click, make it a group. Let's paint it. And we will move it, and it'll actually get nailed onto the side of that one. That's the reality of the situation. Now these will probably happen at 16 inches on center instead of at 24 inches on center. That's why we have the blocking continuous going across. So we'll grab this block and grab it in the middle, head in the direction we want to go, hit Control, and then type 16. And then we will say, oops, something is not correct there. It was not on a guide. So let's see here. Push and pull. Come on. Here we go. There we go. Now we have a 2x4. And exit out of that. Click on it. Grab it in the middle. Head in the direction we want to go and hit Control. Type 16. And then we'll type 8 times. And that'll give us our blocking all the way across. We'll go over here and triple click this. Stretch this out to the edge. And now we have our soffit framing under there. That's where our material will get put on for our soffit. And then additionally, we need to bring our sheathing all the way up to the underside of our soffit. So we're going to pick the rigid insulation part of the zip system first and pull it up. And then we're going to have to pick these boards separately. So we'll triple click into that group, stretch this up, exit, triple click, push pull it up, snap. Triple click, push pull, bring it up. There we go. Now our sheathing is up against the blocking, and there will be a finished fascia board that comes on here and is nailed on a little bit long, and your soffit material that gets put on here and bumps into your finished fascia. That is kind of a finished detail that we're not too worried about. And then we are ready for our sheathing. So I'm going to go back over here to our 3D warehouse models. Go, we can just type in a zip roof sheathing. And Bragg Design Build should come up first. You can click on that and say download. Okay. Well, let me import it anyway. Yes, I did create it in a newer version. Okay. Now we know that it goes across. So the first thing we're going to do is rotate it 90 degrees. So we'll grab our rotate tool and pick anywhere on the surface, and then out here, and then head in the direction you want to go, and then type in 90. Now let's use the move tool and grab the bottom of the sheathing, and we'll come out here and we'll put it on the edge of our subfascia. Now we need to rotate it up so that it's the same slope as our roof. So what you can do is grab your rotate tool and come out here to this outside edge and click here on the horizontal, and then up here on the slope that you want it on, and it tilts it up. Okay, now we need to move it into the correct location, because remember, we want this half on a truss so that we have room for the other one when we put it in. So we'll grab this and head in this direction 3/4 of an inch, because it's 1.5 inches wide, so we want to give half and half. And now we have our roof sheathing on. So let's grab it and make a copy. Say move and control, create the copy. And then we're going to grab it here in the middle, hit control, and come up here, snap to that middle point, grab this one, hit control, pop to here, grab to the middle, hit control, come up here. And that's how your sheathing goes on. Now let's get rid of some of these guides. Okay, I'm going to save this before I, no. Now, this came in as a component before, and the thing about components is when you modify one, it modifies all of them. For example, if I click on this and go to push-pull, triple click, come on, and then I go to push-pull, watch what happens to all of the other ones. Whoop. So this comes in handy if you're going to do like railing systems or legs of chairs, or if you want to modify all the trusses at once or all your floor framing at once. You can make it a component, and that way you only have to make the change once. But when you bring something in as a component and you want to modify it, you can make it unique, and then you can triple click, make sure it's all lit up, push pull, and come on, pop it into place. And then exit out of the group. We'll go over here. We'll right click, make unique, triple click, push pull. Come on, triple click so you're lit up. There you go. Push pull, snap to the edge of the model, escape. We'll do it to the same, this right click, or click it, right click, make unique, triple click into the group, make sure it's lit up, push pull, pop it into place, and then escape. Here you go. You have all of your sheathing. You have your energy heel. So this gives you plenty of room. If this is, you put drywall on the bottom of this and drywall on this, you have plenty of room here for your bad insulation above the ceiling or your blown in insulation above the ceiling. And you'll also have plenty of room for when this is a vented soffit, you'll have plenty of room to get the airflow above that insulation up to your roof vent. So Steve Basic had made his 1'6" from here to here because they're in a very cold climate. It was build, show, build, Boston. This energy hill at a minimum should be 1 foot, but 1'6" is really good too because we need a minimum of R38 in the ceiling according to code, and that is 12 inches thick. And a lot of code standards are getting ready to change so that that will need to be even deeper. So my advice is to make this 1'6" like Steve Basic did, and you'll have plenty of room for everything that needs to go on in your ceiling, because don't forget, you're going to have duct work up in there, you're going to have electrical, you're going to have lighting. There's lots going on in that space between the ceiling and the roof. I hope this helped, and I'll be back in a minute to do your traditional 2x framed rafter roof.